How you doing, everyone? Welcome to episode of Krypto Playboy. My name is Simwell. Guys, we'll begin. Chuck's liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content coming out. And guys, do not forget to hop in the Discord. In there, you got tips, pre-sales, and the best community in crypto. The link is up there, so click it. And guys, we're lucky to have a very special guest on the show again today. So listen to this. Alright, so today on the show, we're going to be talking about this project called Reign of Terror. Now, I was speaking to this about past, so you guys hop on their socials, check it out, check what this project's about. And today, we're going to have Joseph on. He's from the team. He's going to explain the project. Got a few questions lined up for him. He's going to answer everything you guys need to know. So let's get him on now. Here he is. Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for coming on. Alrighty, I'll get straight into these. Wasting time. Tell us, what is Reign of Terror?
So Reign of Terror is Red Door Digital's first game, first Web3 game, and we are a cyberpunk MMO that plays as a real-time tactical game. And we incorporate a lot of different types of NFTs, and you have different ways to earn, basically. And we are on Solana. Or we will be on Solana. Yeah.
That's a good choice for it. I've seen many for the fees on there and quick transactions. I've seen a lot of games moving up to Solana, so nice to see another one on there.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Can you give us a bit of background about you and your team? Like, what's the history in crypto? Like, how did you guys get involved in it, and where did the idea come from?
Sure. So for myself, I've actually been in the crypto since 2017. That was mostly dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then last January, I got a lot more heavily involved in the DeFi and NFTs. And, this is on multiple chains. And then, eventually I kind of settled on Solana. Although, our game is open to, multiple or multi-chain later on. That, I just felt like, just you can have a lot of transactions. The gas fees are extremely low. And we felt like this would be a good way of, a good chain for our game to be on. Most of the NFTs I minted were on Solana, and we have our creative director who actually had a few NFT drops on Ethereum before, and I actually convinced him to move on the Solana. So that's my crypto experience. For my game industry experience, I've been in the game industry for 10 years, mostly mobile gaming, and that was in the San Francisco Bay Area as well as Asia. So I was at companies like Perfect World, Gree International, Tencent, and NetEase. And that was mostly focusing on publishing overseas. So just basically for English-speaking communities. And the team has been making games, anywhere from 8 years to over 20 years. And this is, across PC, mobile, and console. So it's, we have a very strong core team, and we're also continuing to hire more people.
And you guys are just seeing a kind of like that market for it, and played it in gaming. There's NFT aspect of it on the Solana blockchain. You saw there was a need for it, so you put the game out for that.
Yeah, so just for games in general, right? For me, like I played Magic the Gathering. I played a lot of MMOs, and Magic the Gathering is primarily it's a physical card game, but also has a secondary marketplace. A lot of MMOs also have trading, but it's kind of all within a virtual environment. So, Web3 really gives us the opportunity to let people actually keep the assets they've earned in the game. So for me, it's like just as a player, this is something I like.
And look, with this market, I think a lot of projects are suffering now. Is it hurting you guys with the raise on it? Is it like hurting you guys at the timeline of releasing the project, or what's it looking like from your end?
From the development perspective, it hasn't affected us, right? I think in terms of a strategy with releasing NFTs or TGE. Of course, we're definitely like sensitive to the market, right? So, because for us, this is we're a studio, so we are developing multiple games, and this is our first game. So, it's very important to us that we have a good success with this one. But we'll continue to look at market sentiment, continue to build a community, and continue to develop the game.
Because I've seen myself like the NFT market and the GameFi that's taken a bit of a hit. But what's your opinion on that? Do you see the market like keep dropping from it, or it's just the early days of it? You can see GameFi growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah, so I mean, remember like last year, right? I think in May, there's like a pretty huge crash, right? I think Bitcoin got lowered, and what is that right now, right? I think if we put it all in the perspective, I think was it like March, Ethereum is at around 1,500. You know, that was like pretty sure it was like that was pretty high at the time. You know, it's kept growing, and it's still now it's still higher than it was last year. So I think even though it's looking bearish right now, it's still higher than it was in the past for the most part.
Yeah.
And even with just not just the token price itself, if you're just looking at all the projects that are going on, right? You see all the investments going on, all the good news. It's looking extremely bullish, right, for the long term. In general, for Web3, I mean, in Web3 gaming.
This
It's
because I know
just I
Web3
think
is more of
the
a new
standard
thing.
is set higher, right, for what kind of games need to be made.
Because we've
And
seen like
the best
with Bitcoin and Ether and all that back in the day when it
right.
came out. You say no yourself in 2016. Like everyone that's in the market now, they're new to it. They're panicking, saying, "Oh no, it's going to hell. We're not coming back from it." But we've been through this roller coaster of, look at Ether a couple of years ago. $300 was expensive. Now $1,500 seems like a standard price for it. So you see over time if you're a hodler.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of looking at the like what are the trends you see going, right? I think everyone has like a different way of trading, or maybe they just go into NFTs or just in certain like cryptos, tokens. But I think it's more of just look at the long term. Like, where do you see society heading? Do you see this type of stuff having like a real value for people? And then what are the alternatives? So I think there's a lot of look at your bank account, right? I mean, the savings APY is extremely low, right? There's not really much like options right now, right? And I think Web3 aims to solve a lot of different issues, actually.
I'll agree with you on that one. And there's PFP NFTs, and I was talking about a live stream the other day about this. But I do think that's going to be a huge thing, especially the Web3 development. You people saying Avatar with access to the world out there, or make those little secret clubs within each other. Do you guys see the same type of thing with Reign of Terror? Because I know you guys are releasing your collection of NFTs shortly as well, PFP NFTs.
Yeah. So I mean, this in general, right? We see different communities, like niche communities, and hardcore communities becoming more important, right? As I think the world becomes more decentralized, yet centralized in certain ways, right, with governments, but just the way we view ourselves, the way we view value, the type of communities we form. There's going to be a lot of room for different kinds of communities, and PFPs are really very visual, very obvious way of showing what type of community you're in, or what you identify with, or how you feel about that. Especially with Twitter, right, officially supporting that. I mean, they're going to have the authentication or verified PFPs. I mean, it's only going to get more. I mean, it's only going to become more widespread.
Mm-hmm. It's a very unique thing. I think people like that aspect of it because there's only one of them out there. You're more special.
Yeah, people. I mean, I think everyone likes to generally be an individual, and they have different ways of expressing themselves. Especially right when COVID hit, there's a lot of people who they entered college, right? It was all COVID, right? It was all remote. There are not really ways for people to socialize, right? So now, I think online interactions are becoming even more important, and these PFPs do play a pivotal role in that, especially for people who maybe they want to stay anonymous or they're pseudonymous. And then as the NFT PFPs also get more utility, it's going to be able to show up as different things, right, in different platforms. So it goes from a 2D PFP into a 3D model, on a social platform.
It's interactive within it.
Yeah.
Which is very cool because it's just the start of it. I've been telling everyone with this, and you can see it's happening in this. We've got the bear market going on right now, but these type of things are coming out, and people are missing out on this opportunity. So they are in it. Get into it now.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's a bear market or a bull market, right? I mean, there's a lot of great projects that are in development. Yeah. So it's no matter what, right? We're continuing to develop, continuing to prepare, for the future. So the future looks bright. Yeah.
Hopefully, for all of us.
Hopefully.
Other thing I was going to say is, if people want to get involved with Reign of Terror, like how can they get their hands on this? Is it on a launch pad, or what's the ways?
Yeah, so we are listing on a few different Solana-based ideal launch pads. But if you just want to get, with the community, access to the PFP.
Oop. Oh, it's back.
Oh, sorry, the Wi-Fi here is not the greatest.
No, all good.
Yeah, so I think one way is to, most of our communities on Discord. So come on our Twitter, follow us. Also join our Discord.
Mhm.
We do have different types of contests on both. We do share different types of previews of the game as well, and we do plan on giving some closed beta access to people who eventually get in on the Genesis drop, which are our PFPs.
The Genesis
Right
is
now,
in May, isn't it?
yeah, we don't have an exact date for the release,
Mhm.
just because, like I said, we're continuing to develop. Yeah, we'll give more details on that. I mean, hopefully it's going to be sooner rather than later, but we will give more details on that. We've been sharing, and there's different ways to get a whitelist spot, but we are keeping it pretty limited. So
I have seen you guys are very active with the community on there, so that's a great thing. People watching this, if you see an active community, that's a good sign. It's not just the produce like give me money. They want to interact with you guys, and you guys involved in it. So I like seeing you guys doing that. That's a great thing.
yeah, it's important because I mean, if it's just just like, oh, here's some stable coins, come here. I mean, there's people who can pretty much just live off of that, right? Go to every project, do that, which is cool. I'm really glad. I mean, there's more ways to earn money. But at the same time, right, for us, we want people who really kind of vibe with, the kind of style what we're trying to create here, right? Like a cyberpunk MMO, kind of like slightly Asian themed, like the way we have all this going. And then, we want to do this for several years at least, right? Since it's an MMO, we have a lot of content that will support the game with after launch.
Some people might not understand what MMO is. Do you want to explain that one to them and give them an example?
Yeah, massively multiplayer online. So generally, we use the term like MMORPG. So it's a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, which basically means you're playing a game at the same time with a lot of other players, and then you have an avatar that gains levels, and you interact at the same time, right? So you might be level 1 in the starter zone, and you can have a level 50 person over there, and you guys are all playing at the same time. That's basically what it means.
Like Warcraft.
Yeah, like World of Warcraft. Yeah, that would be the the most successful example. Yes, but there's a lot of different ones right now. Yeah. But for us, we're not an MMORPG. We're an MMO, which means that because our core gameplay loop is related to real-time tactical combat, that there is a portion where you're playing by yourself at first to get used to it, and then you can interact with other players. But we're not necessarily an open world, right? You're not running around talking to thousands of people, but you will have ways of teaming up with people and also attacking people. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just more of the way we designed the game, but it's still, it's still like everyone's online at the same time. It's just the way you interact is a little bit different. And then later on, right, you're going to have optional high-risk PvP over the NFT lands. So what we hope to have is when you're having alliance battles. So alliances are basically different groups of guilds, which are different groups of players. Yeah, because we do have a limited NFT land system that all produce different resources, that you're actually going to be incentivized to control multiple lands. So what will happen is on the alliance level, when you're actually trying to control more lands or take others, you also expose yourself to more risk. So you actually have a risk of losing these NFT lands, which have real world value. And so that really requires you to coordinate like real humans, right? Real other human players to actually, fight other people. And we expect that to be a lot of fun, right? Because we've seen MMOs, MMORPGs going on for extremely long periods of time, and none of the rewards you get in there really translate to real world value, right? I mean, it's more of, you have good memories, but at the same time, if someone's put in 20,000 hours into their account, they would like to also potentially have something that can contribute, to feeding themselves, right? They put in all this time and effort and money, They paid a subscription fee, and then they can't legally sell the account, right? So that's kind of Web2, right? It all stays within the developers, which is the kind of model people have been going for. I mean, but with Web3, we're actually giving the players like ownership of the assets. So it's going to be it's a totally different model.
It's kind of like being back in the medieval days. You can go conquer a kingdom now, and you get the land.
Yeah, kind of like that. with different technology, yeah. But yeah, it's something similar to that in a sense. Yeah,
it gives people that sense of adventure, which is nice because
I mean, and you don't have to do it. So for people who are afraid of that, you don't have to necessarily join Alliance. It's going to be more for like hardcore players who want to participate in that. But we do have, different gameplay options for people who want to be a little bit more casual. Or like, let's say you're just a passive investor. Like, let's say you just want to get the token, stake it, or you just passively, you don't really want to play. We also have options for that as well, right? So it's, we do. I think our main focus is actually just having content that's fun, right? So you want to play. So even if you're not familiar with Web3 or NFTs, crypto, like you can play the game and have fun. But then for people who are already familiar or they want to learn more about it, they can interact with Reign of Terror in different ways.
It's for everyone, really. Everyone's got an opportunity to get in there and play or invest somehow.
Yeah.
You guys also have a mini game coming out. I've read that correct? An NFT mini game?
Yeah. So the idea behind it was if we're going to do like the TG and also the Genesis drop right before the full game is out, right, there's going to be some time period. We also wanted to have just ways to, get utility from the PFP, right? So of course PFP is used for some social proof, you can kind of show it off to people, but we also wanted to have some real on-chain utility. So the mini game basically is like a set of quests. So when you have the PFP, you're able to stake it on the mini game. You have it go on a quest, and then when you claim the reward, it's a SFT. So it's basically different components. And we have different weapons in the game. And when you combine certain sets of components together, it'll create a weapon, essentially. And the weapon goes with your agent. And your agent is in Reign of Terror, you're controlling a squad of agents. So you just want to enhance your agents further, you need these weapons. But in the meantime, before you actually use those, you're able to trade those as well. So it's just a kind of a way of when you have the PFP to keep it with us, right, by staking, and at the same time you are producing more NFTs that you're able to trade with.
You guys have thought of everything for this,
and you're able to learn more about the story too. Yeah, we thought of it a lot because for myself, right? I've participated in IDOs, I've bought, I've been to NFTs, and I've seen it, where after it minted, there's not really much of anything going on, and then there's FUD, everyone goes away, and we're like, well, I'm assuming not every development team wants that to happen. So it's like just, from the perspective of someone who's coming into this, you always want to have something to do. It's extremely important.
Gives me
because on the back end, right, we're always doing something, right? We're always developing the game. So we just need to, we're making sure that just from the other side, right, there's always something to do.
And is there any juicy gossip you can share with us?
Juicy gossip. Well, we are talking to some. I probably shouldn't share that, but we are talking to some pretty large IPs, like traditional game IPs, and we should be working with some pretty soon, and we are going to see if we're able to also put some of that into Reign of Terror. So you might have some extra brands coming into the into the game.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. Hey, you guys heard that here.
Yeah, we're busy. We're busy here. Look, I'm in a hotel right now, right? Because we're constantly like meeting with different people, trying to set up partnerships, collaborations.
You guys are always traveling.
I don't like traveling. I don't like living out of a hotel actually, but it's just something we have to do it. So I'm kind of doing it just to make sure the game gets as much support as possible.
I don't think people say the back end of developing a game or any project in general in crypto, they think it's just some guys there coding away and it's done. Like There's a lot more than that involved. A lot of relationship
No,
building,
it's
community
a lot,
building.
and especially right with more like everyone's working remote. We have distributed teams. There's a lot of communication that goes into that, right? Which is a little bit different than if everyone's in the office, right? And the thing is, there's a lot. I mean, for a game, it's different than, let's say, a DeFi protocol, right? There's different things we have to kind of take into account. So there's a lot that goes into creating a game, right? I mean, if you want to make a good game, right, there's a lot that we have to deal with, basically, internally. But, in the end, it should be worth it. I mean, you've seen lots of different game news, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you've seen all the issues that could arise. So
send them all. So good luck with them all.
yeah, and we feel pretty happy too as a studio, right? Because there haven't really been that many amazing Web3 game examples. I mean, in terms of just like the fun content. So we are able to experiment with like different games later on that bring in different kinds of people, right? I mean, I think the goal is to also just have something that's really fun, but at the same time show, hey, Web3 really can like enhance your life, right? Not just necessarily, I mean, or financially, but I mean, there's different ways, right? We're talking about social. NFTs can be used pretty much for anything, right? If it just you apply.
You can see that happening. Yeah. Oh, we lose you again. Perfect angle. 1 second. I'll fix this. Oh. So he comes back. Back again.
Oh.
No, back again. No stress.
Did you get that? I'm not sure.
We got to the part where NFTs can be helpful more than just.
Yeah, I mean, NFT interoperability is something we're a big proponent of. I mean, we're huge supporters for that. So we are also talking to other projects in Solana, and we do plan on working, right? So let's say for some of their NFTs, we would support it in our game, right? To like have something appear in the game that's related to that NFT, and then we also they'll support our NFTs as well. So I think the idea is like that NFT. It's not just a PFP or it's not just a 3D asset. It actually can do a lot of different things.
Opportunities are endless for them.
Yeah, really. I mean, you can do anything really with an NFT. It could even give you airport lounge access. It could give you maybe access to early drops, right? Even in physical stores, right? If you want to get sneakers, I mean, the possibilities are endless, and we are seeing different things coming up for it, right? But just a matter of time. I think eventually it'll become more mainstream.
That's right. 3% of the world's population is involved in crypto now. Imagine we're at like 10% or 20%, then you hit that 50%, it's going to be huge.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it just need to have more use cases and just more people kind of really seeing how, hey, this actually works, right? Instead of just from the technical side, it's like more of how does it affect my life? And I think as we get more of those like great use cases, then people will see that.
They'll open their eyes to the real world out here.
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate you coming on the show today, man, and thanks for answering these questions.
Yeah, thanks.
The main ones,
Thanks for having me here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to talk to you very soon, man. So I'll catch you later.
Yeah. Keep in touch. Yeah, we'll be around. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give everyone an update in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, for sure.
Too easy, Joseph. Thank you again.
Yep. Thanks. Yep. Yeah.
Ooh. There you guys have it. If you guys want to find out more, hop into Terra. I like this project a lot. I've spoken about this in the past year. You guys need to get on there. Find out why you're so passionate about this. Find out why this can change your life when you're gaming, because some of these games can be huge. Even not just from a financial point of view, you can get in there, be interactive with your mates, interact with other people on there. You can enjoy yourself. And like I always say, if you're going to play a game, make it worth your time. You can make something out of it. You can earn assets in it. You can make a profit on it. That's what Web 2. This is now Web 3 moving into. Move into Web 3. Out of Web 2. You're basically just wasting your time in there. At least here you can have fun with your time and earn something with your time. Hop in there, go through the whole Twitter, check them out, get in the Discord to get active with them, and follow the community. It's one of those projects that you should follow. And if you want to find out more, we'll get in the community and talk to them, ask questions. And anything you need to know, I'll check the links down below, guys. And stay tuned. Do not forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more out.